Ha ha! Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. Today's nonsense is Bard class. But John, Bard class? Why are you going to Bard class? That was from a couple of sets ago. Why aren't we playing the new cards? Well, I've got news, folks. We're going back to Bard class because one of my favorite cards of all time just got printed. Mirrorbox. You're going to be seeing more Mirrorbox shenanigans on this stream, let me tell you. Mirrorbox, 3 mana artifact. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1. Each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as that creature. Who cares about all that other junk? Like, yeah, they're good things. We're happy about those things. The most important thing, though, the legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. So we're back to Bard class because Bard class says legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on them. Okay. Legendary spells cost a red and a green less to cast. This effect only reduces the amount of colored mana you pay. So it does make Targ free. It costs actual 0 mana because it reduces a red and a green. It does not make Magda free. It reduces a red and a green. So the colorless will still need to be paid, right? But then Bard class says, whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play them this turn. So the deal is, it's going to take a little time to get set up, no question about it. But what we're hoping to do is just cast a million legendary creatures, put a bunch of counters on them, hopefully have them all out at once. This deck was, I mean, it's powerful before. We've screwed around with it on the stream. But, like, you run into the problem of drawing too many of your legendary creatures, right? So it's like, you know, I want to cast a Targ, but it's just going to die. Okay, well, Mirrorbox, right? So now, if I draw another Targ, great. We're going to slam it, right? And, of course, whenever it attacks with total power 6 or greater, attacking creatures get 1/0. So it just, you know, grows the whole team. And we can double Targnar's power and toughness for 4 mana. So it's a nice way. Sometimes your opponents might not see that Targnar is, like, 3 power with Mirrorbox. So it's not very threatening. You attack with enough power. So, okay, now it's 4 power. Still not that threatening. They block a couple of other creatures. We might be able to double Targnar, and go from 4 to 8 to 16 power, right? Or something like that. Similarly, you know, you folks are likely familiar with Magda. Whenever it becomes tapped, create a treasure. Sacrifice 5 treasures. You can search your library for an artifact or dragon. No, it's true. We don't actually have dragons in the list, but we do have a very important artifact. Mirrorbox. Mostly this is here because it's legendary and it's cheap. And it can ramp us. So we have Jaspera Sentinels as a way of ramping. Being able to tap a Magda is just double ramp. Like, this is fantastic. We're very, very happy about that. But don't forget, we also are running Esika as well. Other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance and tap to add 1 mana of any color. So we can tap Magna for that as well. But again, also just a relatively aggressive creature that we're able to ramp with to get up to our more powerful plays. Toski, very strong. Can't be countered, which is important. And indestructible. If it's coming down with a Bard class down, it gets a 1/1 counter. Normally it's just a 1/1, but coming down as a 2/2, holy crud, that's 100% more power and toughness, right? Well, Bard classes aren't legendary. We can have a whole bunch of these down. So the Toski just can keep growing, as does Halana and Alena. This card, one of my favorites from the set it came out of. It's just so much fun to screw around with. Throwing counters and haste onto creatures is just very, very powerful. And growing it with Mirrorbox alone, just other legendary creatures you control get 1/1, means it's throwing around 3 counters. If we get 2, it's even better, right? So we're really excited about these things. We're running a Saryth, a Kolvori, and of course at the top end we don't actually have any 5-drops because we're trying to be relatively aggressive. We want to be able to cast a bunch of things with Bard class and hopefully overwhelm them, go wide. But since we're making the things cheaper, we did want some top end to, like, kind of slam the door. A couple of Vorinclex, because 6/6 Trampling Haste that deals with 1/1 counters. Of course, so does Halana and Alena, so does Bard class, so pretty excited about that. And then Morog, definitely a card that we have, has a lot of potential. We just haven't ever really seen it do anything, so I'm going to give it a go. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield into your control, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. So we could potentially get in multiple attack steps with Morog and stuff like that. So yeah, then some lands, right? No great surprise there. But without further ado, let's get some games, shall we? All right, folks, here we are. Yeah, this hand looks good. We'll see. It's a little bit on the slow side, admittedly, but it's exactly what we're looking for. You know, any hand that we're relying on Bard class is going to be a little bit slow, which is the problem with this deck. But that's also the draw to this deck, right? Is it's going to take a few turns to get set up, but as long as we get set up, we do some crazy things. So, you know, yeah, Bard class, come on down. Go ahead, get in for one. Pass the turn back over to whatever our opponent's name is. I wouldn't even know where to begin pronouncing that, so I'm going to refer to them as opponent. Opponent Infernal Grasps. Yep. Well, Bard class. And down to the Bugbear and Targ with a 1/1 counter, your go, opponent. Kind of nice that the leveling up the Bard class is free in this case, because we have the, you know, Targ. And we have Toski for next turn, and this spell can't be countered. So we can do that right now and get to draw a card, potentially, as long as Targ can hit. It's quite possible that Targ will not hit, obviously. You know, we're expecting that this is a, bummer. Okay. Inconvenient. I mean, it's not... That's not a big deal, though, for sure. Do we play out the Ringheart Crest? Because then we can go, you know, a 2-mana creature and a 3-mana creature next turn. Our opponent is... We're gonna hang on to it. We really want to draw a land here. Okay, we don't. Inconvenient. Alright. Toski, Bearer of Secrets, come on down. Pass the turn. Yeah, this is definitely looking like a counterspell here, obviously. Alright, so I guess let's bait with a Targ. We're doing this pre-combat because we want to resolve a Kodama the West tree so that we can get a basic land card onto the battlefield. Wow, it just resolves? Okay. Well, we're not going to overcommit. We are expecting there to be some kind of board sweeping stuff, you know. Alright. A land. Draw another card. Yeah, actually, this is great. Part of me actually just wants to run out the Esika, actually, as much as I said, oh, we don't want to do that. Maybe we do. No, okay. Let's not. So what is this card, then, that's foretold? If it was card draw, they would have done it. Jin Gitaxis. Artifact, instant, or sorcery. Counter that spell. Okay, well, that's not a thing we need to worry about, because we're going to run out a Saryth the Viper's Fang, which is none of those things, and then attack. Yeah. This is now 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay. Our opponent drops to 1. That's a lot. So land, 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 and draw a card, draw a card, draw a card. Interesting. And maybe we're supposed to Ringheart Crest? No. Because that would get countered. And, like, I was trying to... Yeah. No. This is fine. Okay, so let's just end. See what our opponent has to say. Oh, this is the reanimation spell? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, okay. Our opponent, scooping up. Their deck was really sweet. They had a lot of interaction stuff here, but at the end of the day, what they were trying to do was reanimate, and didn't work out. So GG opponent, GG. All right, folks. Yeah, this looks good. We don't have anything to do, but hopefully we'll draw that. You know, Lair of the Hydra. Oh crud! Our opponent may not be willing to give us the time to draw into things. We're in Rockfall Vale because we would like to Bard class on 2. So, okay. Prosperous Innkeeper creates treasure. Yep. And, sure. Bard class, come on down. Your go. Gaia? Is it just X Gaia X? Gaia? Maybe. I don't know. Alright. Playing another land. Another Prosperous Innkeeper. Yeah. More treasures. More life. Up to 21 for our opponent. And opponent gets in for 1. Yep. We dropped to 19. Opponent passes the turn. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, well. Not thrilled about this situation. I think we are going to plan on mirror boxing here instead of leveling up Bard class. Because this is more mana efficient. Opponent. Thinking about it. Allows it to happen. Sure. The leveling up the Bard class does afford us more opportunities for really, really explosive turns. But since we don't really have anything else we're doing right now anyway, there's a good chance we just end up casting Saryth for the iron price, so to speak, next turn. Because we feel like we want to get something down. Okay, Skyclave Apparition. Yes, this is what we were hoping for. I was going to say, but if they do have... I was thinking Boseiju, who endures, that would destroy either a Bard class or a Mirrorbox. This now gives them choices. It turns out they're actually on green-white. And the interaction was not the one we were expecting it to be, but it was interaction nonetheless, right? And glad we did that. Interesting. Well, I think... Interesting. You know what? No. Let's get this down so she comes down with another counter. We're going to level up one of our Bard classes again, but we're going to wait. They clearly have kind of an interactive hand or something. I don't really know what's going on over there. It also could just be all these cards are white. And we do wish to get this down, but this makes it come down with an extra counter. And when you're going up against really small decks like this, just having bigger blockers is advantageous. And then this way, theoretically anyway, as long as they don't exile one of these, next turn we can level up the other Bard class and cast Saryth. Yep. We dropped 13. Something is foretold. Hey, it's the Targnar. Well, I think we're glad we did that. Because now we can Saryth come down instead of being a 3/4. We're doing this, of course, just in case our opponent does have Boseiju who endures, where they might destroy Bard class. This one's always going to be free, so it only makes sense to do it this way, right? I think we are going to play this as a land drop. We are probably going to hold on to that one, but we'll find out. We definitely want 5, so we can level up these Bard classes if we feel, like that's a good plan, And... Alright, so... Interesting. I think we're actually going to attack with the Saryth here. And probably level up a Bard class. Just to get things going. Alright. Opponent. Prepare to take some damage here, it looks like. Does so. Alright, well. Bard class. Go. It is true, our opponent might destroy one now. That's obviously been a possibility this whole time. So dumping a bunch of mana into these, not a great feeling. But if we start getting to take advantage of the card advantage side of it, it's going to be a great feeling, I can tell you that. You know? Okay, Brutal Cathar coming down, hitting our Saryth, because it's the only option. And probably no combat here, I wouldn't expect. Although they might try and tempo us out if they have maybe another Brutal Cathar and another Brutal Cathar or something, you know. Well, this stinks. Well, we're going to go ahead and Mirrorbox and pass. We definitely need to cast a spell so that the Brutal Cathar doesn't flip, right? Like, that's going to be really important. But this also gives us a little bit of a combat trick. Yeah, okay. Inconvenient. But this isn't the end of the world because, you know, our opponent likely is going to try and tempo us out here. They do. Alright. If they have a, like, Snakeskin Veil, we're pretty chagrined. But I think we need to try and do this. Okay. Yep, we dropped to 9. Get a Saryth Viper's Fang back. No, folks. Alright, we are going to level up the other Bard class. This helps so that if they destroy one of them, we still get to do the thing. But unfortunately, we are, you know, drawing air right now. We have a lot of legendary things. You know, we're looking at things like, you know, a Magda, an Esika, a Targnar, a Kodama, let's see, a Kolvori would be fantastic. Toski would be probably the best card or draw in our deck. Halana Alena would be insane. Like, yeah, the list goes on and on, folks. You know, we... Hey, okay, yes. All right, Targnar. Bard class, doing Bard classy things. Yep. Yes, 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 yes! Ha-ha! Okay. And land. Halana and Alena. Doing Bard class stuff again. And Halana and Alena. Yep. And let's see. Esika. Gotta be careful not to mill ourselves out here, folks. Actually, maybe that's a good concern there. Maybe we were supposed to Bard class before Esika, because then it gets an extra 1/1 counter, right? And we don't want to cast too many spells because, yeah, we might, you know, kill ourselves. And these creatures, you know, will be gaining haste. Some of them will be gaining haste because of Halana and Alena, right? That's why we wanted to cast the Esika, was to give vigilance. Oh, boy. Okay, well, yeah, you know. This is a good one. All right. Our library rapidly dwindling, folks. Oh my goodness. All right. So, yep, let's just pass. And opponent probably a little bit salty about all this, because that was a good turn. For the record, folks, that was what I would refer to as a good turn. That's what we're looking to do. And yeah, there is a case to be made for putting all the counters over here. Let's see, because that would be 6, 12. Yeah, but it's still not lethal on the Vorinclex. So I think we will do something like this instead. And, you know, just swing with the team. Because this puts a lot more power and toughness on the board. Or, you know, attacking, I should say. It's the same amount of power and toughness going on the board. But, you know, yeah. Oh, I guess... Yeah, that was a mistake, wasn't it? I had forgotten, like, if we stack the triggers properly, the other Halana and Alena would get a lot bigger. So, no, that was a punt. And darn it, we could have done something really cool. Because we could have put it all on the second one on Vorinclex. No, you know what? That was actually all a punt. Because of Vorinclex. It's doubling up the counters. Darn it, folks. Look at me. Just being foolish. Just messing everything up. It's... This is actually the first time I've had 2 Halana and Alenas on the battlefield before. So I didn't consider that interaction. This is also the first time I've ever had a Halana and Alena and a Vorinclex in the battlefield. I'm not going to lie, folks. It feels great. This is awesome. But, yeah, I definitely goofed. Holy crud, that was all... I did it all incorrectly. Didn't do anything right. But that's okay. That is okay. All right, so do we want any of this stuff? Yeah, all right. Well, let's get another Bard class, I guess. And just pass. Yeah, this is fine. All right. All right. Opponent has Catilda, which does have protection from werewolves. Yep. And I'm pretty sure our opponent sees the writing on the wall now. Yeah, that was... Yeah. Man, we could have done something real cool. I'm not lamenting missing lethal, because we're still in a really, really good spot, obviously. I'm lamenting not doing a really cool thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's... It's burning inside. That hurts, but oh well. Alright. Gaia. Thinking about things. Yep. And yeah, Gaia probably a little salty right now. I wouldn't even blame them. They're having a bit of a rough game. We're not going to BM though. Even if we draw a legendary card or something, we're not gonna, you know, we're not gonna cast it. We're just going to put a billion counters on Vorinclex and attack, you know? All right. And not going to get that opportunity, it looks like. Our opponent's roping. Oh, maybe okay. Maybe they are. All right, fine. Hey, we got another Vorinclex. All right, that's okay. All right, so combat. All right, so this one is going to go here. And that one is going to go here. This one's going to resolve first, so it's going to put a billion counters on Halana and Alena. Halana and Alena's, then these ones, you know, so this one resolves first. So this one gets really, really big. Then this one is going to resolve next, and it's going to go on to Vorinclex, which is going to be even larger. Our opponent appears to be roping a little bit. I do think, like, I'm always hesitant to call people out on roping, because I myself, you know, have disconnection issues and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they do in fact see the writing on the wall and scoop it out. So GG, opponent, GG. All right, folks, this is iffy. We don't have a red source. I think the hand looks good otherwise, though. So I am going to hold on to it. Almost certainly regret it. But need to draw into that red source. Start our world tree, though. This is always a tap land. Definitely a good one to have. Opponent on Deserted Beach Island into Malevolent Hermit. Oh, looks like our opponent's going to be doing some nasty, nasty things, I think. But, hey, we get to resolve a Bard class. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Elite Spellbinder, don't you look at my hand. This is my hand. Keep your grubby mitts off my stuff. They won't, folks. They won't. Bystander is going to have a look at our hand and do things that make us feel bad to it. Yeah, they're going to take our Halana and Alena. Unsurprisingly, it has reach. The Bard class does do a very good job of reducing the mana cost of that one. But, you know, it still is what it is. Now, keep in mind, this can cast creature spells of the chosen type or legendary things. So most of our deck is legendary things. So the Human Ranger, it's already going to be able to cast this. You know, the Phyrexian Praetor are already going to be able to cast this. The Human Warlock going to be able to cast that. So we chose Elf because we do have Jaspera Sentinels, right? And they're a 4 of. So does make sense. Elite Spellbinder going to take our Vorinclex Monstrous Raider and charge in for 5. That's a reasonable thing to do. And yeah, I think we've still got to do this. Do we? Yeah. All this stinks. I'm worried they're just going to have a bounce spell. If they have a bounce spell, we take 6, 7, 8. So I think we want to make sure we have a blocker down. So at least the Malevolent Hermit can minimize the amount of damage done, you know? So let's Saryth Esika. This also gives us more mana to work with next turn. You know, if we want to do that sort of thing. Another Elite Spellbinder going to have a look at our hand. It's a forest still. Unfortunately, folks, our opponent having another Elite Spellbinder is very bad for us. Yeah, this very likely to mean we die. Hey, oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, folks. That is fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted. Because the Jaspera Sentinel also has reach. So we can at least jump in front of these gigantic flying nasty creatures here and make things difficult on our opponent. Actually, I don't know. No. I was going to say maybe we should have attacked with Saryth there, but I don't think that's actually true. Because then, you know, they could team kill it and then maybe bounce our creatures and we could die that way. Whoa. This doesn't look good. What do you have going on here, opponent? Okay. Yeah, this stinks. Okay. Just having another flyer thing is very, very bad here. We take 3. Yeah. You know, we're likely dead now. Darn it. What does this do? Okay, well, you know. Come down. Maybe our opponent doesn't have an answer, right? Okay, Vorinclex does hit. Okay, well, the Glorious Protector is, you know, going to give some creatures back to our opponent, but there are only a couple of flyers here. Okay, that's not great, but again, they do have to deal with the Vorinclex here, and the Vorinclex is going to be a lot of trampling damage. Oh, shoot, folks. Yeah. Okay. No, they still can't, right? Because this is not quite enough damage. They have 4 attackers. And, I mean, we've got to block. We don't have a choice. So, we block like this so that they don't get their flyers back. And then attack? Holy crud, folks. I thought sure we were dead there. But, man, that Vorinclex doubling up all the counters and stuff, that's a big game. Holy crud. Oh, thank heavens. Jeez Louise. Good game, Bystander. Good game. All right, folks. We are back. We are back. Holy crud. That was a blast. I'm not going to lie. The deck did really well. You know, I only played 3 games. We won all 3. So you will see what I saw. A little bit embarrassing. There were several situations where I didn't give enough thought to decisions, particularly in combat. Where you put your Halana Alena counters and that sort of thing is very, very important with this deck, and surprisingly so. I expected it to play maybe more like, you know, a traditional kind of beatdown deck, where we're, you know, a little mid-rangey, playing Jaspera Sentinel on 1 so that we can ramp out our, you know, 3 drops and stuff like that, but then we're just going to beat down or whatever. That is not the way this played at all. It was very intricate. There were a lot of different lines to take. The Halana Alenas were awesome. One of the lines that came up was embarrassing that I didn't even think about. You know, I was excited about being able to have 2 Halana Alenas out and like put 3 counters over here and then 3 counters over there. That's awesome. I didn't even consider that if you put counters onto this Halana Alena, it goes from 3 power or 4 power or whatever, and then makes this one even larger, so it's going to put even more counters over there. I didn't even consider that. As embarrassing as that is. But, man, with Vorinclex, though, holy crud, that just gets out of hand. And again, these things were all here on purpose. I just didn't consider how incredibly crazy things could get should they all end up colliding on the battlefield at once. If I were a little more disingenuous, I would go and play more games because it would be a lot of fun. And, you know, attempt to make myself look really good and pretend like I saw that ahead of time. But I'll be honest with you, I've never attempted to put on airs, so you get what you get, right? You see who I am. And what I am is trying to have a good time, right? As far as the deck, I thought it was great. Things I might change. Honestly, I don't know. We didn't play enough games to be like, yes, this is definitively a thing I want to change. I would say, I think Saryth was better than I gave it credit for in this deck. The giving untapped creatures hexproof was really, really strong. So I think I would look to get at least 1 more of these in here. I think the Morag could have been good, but I think it's largely only going to be good when we have either Halana and Alena or Toski out. Like, you want your combat step to do something, you know? So it's quite possible this is just more of a fun of. You could probably be rid of that, you know, maybe just strictly for another Saryth. The Magdas, we never really saw. I still hold out hope for them doing what we asked them to do, but it is also possible we could look to do better on this one somewhere as well. But, holy crud, the deck was a blast. Do not regret playing it at all. And I really, you know, look forward to being able to play it again in the future. So, you know, if you do have any recommendations for the deck, I might even end up playing it on stream or something. So definitely let me know in the comments below how you feel about it and what you personally might change to make the deck better. I would love to hear from you. But thank you for watching, folks. You have a fantastic day.